Good morning to my supervisor, Dr. Muhammad Fariduddin bin Mokhtar, and to my panel, Dr. Kamaruddin bin Abu Bakar. My name is NURSHUHADA SHAZRIN BINTI OTHMAN. Today, I will be presenting my final year project proposal entitled Impact of Fake Cosmetic Product on Consumer Health and Market Trust in Malacca. Let us start with the background of the study. The cosmetic industry in Malaysia is experiencing rapid growth, driven by an ever-increasing demand for beauty and skincare products. However, this booming market has a dark side. Counterfeit cosmetic products have become widely accessible through both social media platforms and local physical stores. The primary consumers driving this market are adult and teenage women because they are the most frequent buyers. Understanding their purchasing behavior and experiences is crucial. It helps us point exactly how these fake products are impacting their health and shifting their trust in the market. There are several problems in this study which bring us to the core problem. First, fake cosmetics are being sold aggressively across both online and offline platforms, often heavily discounted to mimic high-end brands like MAC. Second is, unfortunately, weak enforcement allows this product to continuously circulate in the market. The third one is, the real danger lies in their composition. These counterfeit items contain harmful, unregulated chemicals that pose several risks to consumer health. The fourth one is, to make matters worse, it is becoming incredibly hard for the average consumer to distinguish a fake product from a genuine one just by looking at it. The last one is, ultimately, this doesn't just harm individual health, it drastically reduces consumer trust and tarnishes the hard-earned reputation of authentic cosmetic brands. To address this problem, my research is guided by three specific questions and objectives in this third slide. First, what are the traits that differentiate fake and original products? Correspondingly, our first objective is to identify these specific traits. The second research is, what is the impact of fake cosmetic on consumer health in Malacca? The objective here is to evaluate the severity of this health risk. The third research question is, how do these fake products affect consumer trust toward cosmetic brands and the broader market? This leads to our third objective, which is to analyze the shift in market trust. Next, let's look at the scope. This study focuses specifically on adult and teenage women residing in Malacca. Data is collected quantitatively using online Google Forms, meaning this study does not project the findings onto other states or population. Why is this study significant? It provides vital insight for four key groups. The first significant is for consumers. It enhances their awareness of health risks, helping them make safer buyer decisions. The second significant is for researchers. It serves as a valuable data reference for future studies regarding counterfeit goods and consumer behavior. The third significant is for businesses. It highlights the financial and reputational damage caused by counterfeit, proving him brand loyalty is eroded. The last significant is for policymakers and authorities. It provides data to support better market regulations and stricter enforcement programs to curb the spread of these items. Moving on to the research methodology, this study adopts a quantitative approach using a simple random sampling method to collect data from 200 respondents through Google Forms. The items are measured using standard Likert scales. To analyze consumer behavior, I am utilizing an extended theory of planned behavior model, which is TPB. My dependent variable is market trust in the cosmetics industry. To predict this, I tested 5 hypotheses based on 5 core independent variables. The first hypothesis is attitude toward counterfeit cosmetics. The second hypothesis is social influence. The third hypothesis is perceived behavioral control. Additionally, we extended the model to include 2 contextual factors, which is exposure to counterfeit cosmetic, and last hypothesis is consumer awareness. As indicated by the model, we hypothesize that negative attitude, social pressure and high exposure will reduce trust, while strong behavioral control and high awareness will positively build market trust. Next, I will explain the data analysis method used in this study. First is analysis using SPSS. All collected questionnaire data were analyzed using Statistical Package for Social Science, or SPSS. This software was used to organize, process and interpret the responses from consumers in Melaka regarding fake cosmetic products, their health concerns and their level of trust in the market. Second is descriptive statistic, mean and frequency. First, descriptive statistics were conducted. Frequency analysis was used to summarize respondents' demographic information such as age, gender, and purchasing behavior. Mean analysis was used to determine the average level of agreement for each construct, including attitude, subjective norms, perceived behavioral control, exposure to counterfeit cosmetics, consumer awareness, and market trust. This helps us understand the general perceptions and experiences of consumers regarding fake cosmetic products in Melaka. Next, a reliability test was performed using Chromback Alpha. This test measures the internal consistency of the questionnaire items within each variable. A Chromback Alpha value of 0.70 or higher indicates that the questionnaire items are reliable and consistently measure the intended constructs. Therefore, this test ensures that the data collected were trustworthy and suitable for further analysis. Next is correlation and regression analysis. Correlation analysis was conducted to examine the relationship between the independent variables and market trust. Specifically, it helped determine whether factors such as attitude, subjective norms, perceived behavioral control, exposure to counterfeit cosmetic, and consumer awareness are associated with consumer trust in the cosmetic market. Regression analysis was then used to identify which factors have the strongest influence on market trust. This analysis allows us to determine the extent to which each variable contributes to change in consumer trust toward the cosmetic market in Melaka. In addition, the findings provide insight into how fake cosmetic products affect both consumer health, concern and confidence in legitimate cosmetic products and sellers. The last one is significance level. Finally, a significance level of P less than 0.05 was used to evaluate the statistical results. If the p-value is below 0.05, the relationship or effect is considered statistically significant. This means that the findings are unlikely to have occurred by chance and can be used to support or reject the research hypothesis. Overall, this analysis enables use. In conclusion, the study found that fake cosmetic products significantly affect consumer trust in the market. The result shows that attitude, social influence, and exposure to counterfeit cosmetic can reduce market trust. In contrast, consumer awareness and perceived behavioral control help strengthen trust. These findings suggest that increasing public awareness and strengthening enforcement against fake cosmetic products are important to protect consumer health and improve market trust in Melaka. Thank you. That's all from me.